So film review is the work which informs the reader, which gives the analysis of a particular film, and it evaluates, it gives the evaluation is done for the values, and then it gives its own opinion. So it gives the readers an assessment of the worthiness of a film without giving way too much of its plot. What the characters are doing, that is not taken or into consideration to give the weightage, but what a person will take as a message, that is taken into count. So, in order to write a film review, we should make ourselves familiar with some basic elements of a film, such as uh, plot, subplot. The main work done by a particular character, subplot, their followers, then characters, the work taken by so many people in the film, then narration, who is giving or who is saying the story, that is a part played by the narration. And these are the terms that one has to be familiar with when a person is writing a book review or a film review. Then direction, one should know what are the words to be used to write a particular review about a film. So one has to know what is direction, what is a screenplay, then music, then cinematography, choreography, editing, lyrics, playback, set design, costume design, and so on. These are the general terms that a review writer should be familiar with when a person is writing a review about a film. Then genre of the film, how the genres can be given the division or divided into, that is the comedy, tragedy, horror, melodrama, fantasy, musical, mythological, or romantic or comedian, both rom-com, and so on. So these are the general divisions of a film based on which a film is presented. So these specific terms, when a writer makes use of in a particular review, these terms have its own meaning to be given in that context. So we say that we have to be familiar with some vocabulary when a person is doing a work in a particular field. For example, comedy and tragedy, horror, melodrama, all these are cannot be used in a general context. These are all particularly about the film industry. The writing process consists of 3, 4, 5 steps according to the given text of your syllabus. The very first thing it is said that by looking at the features, one has to assess the success or failure of the film. Then we cannot find fault with a fantasy film for not being realistic. If this is said, suppose any fantasy film is there, you cannot say that it is not realistic, so it will be failure. Nor can we complain about the sentimentality in a melodrama. When melodrama is given, we can't say that okay, it is not affecting any kind of emotions. You cannot expect that in this field. Then step 2 is the purpose of review is not merely a narration of the story or plot of the film, because it is already there when a person is watching. So what is the difference of writing the same things whatever we see? So it is entirely an expression of the reviewer's own opinion. When a person is watching a film, what does the writer feels when the writer writes a review about that film. The primary purpose of a film review is to help the reader arrive a fairly accurate estimate of the film, nature, quality and suitability. First of all, when a book review or a film review is written, the very nature of that film, like we have nature contains that can be comedy, tragedy, horror, melodrama, any specific field. Then quality, to what standard that does it maintain, that is the quality. And suitability. Suppose I say tragedy and it goes on giving the sense of humor, just laughing and laughing. Does it have the suitability to that environment of tragedy? So that is suitability. A good film review therefore should strike a balance between information, inference and interpretation. That is, whatever we say, there has to be the fact into count. The fact has to be counted, that will be information. And inference, that is, we go deep into the study, that is inference, just like the reference. And then interpretation. Taking that into count, we give interpretation. If this is so and so, what would be the way of dealing with the problem? That is the interpretation of the writer. Then the step 3 contains understand the target reader, who is going to read the text, the very first thing. A reviewer might write a very great thing, but suppose we do not count the readers who is going to read the review, then it will be of no use. So who we are writing for, who is likely to read the review, helps us choose the appropriate style and vocabulary. Depending on the target reader, review can be written in a formal or informal style using vocabulary that is appropriate to the group, to whomever we are saying or addressing. Depending or taking that into account, we make use of our words or vocabulary that is applicable in that context. Then step 5 is understand the medium. Although film reviews are generally associated with print media, that is newspaper and magazines, they have now spread into electronic media and cyberspace. Each medium has its own style and requirement, and therefore we have to customize our writing according to the medium. Just like it is the need of the time. When we see that some technology has come into existence and it is being used by each and every one, so we need to learn that, because if we have to exist in that particular period of time, we need to have the knowledge of that particular period of knowledge of that genre. So it is just the same, the writer says. And this is about the computer. The cyberspace talks about the computer, that can be the digital knowledge. Or then electronic media talks about uh, the things that we listen through a device, gadgets. So that is the electronic media. And we have to update ourselves. Because one work done in one field may not be same as done in the other field. That is what the writer wants to convey here. Then the writer gives an example of one of the films, how the film review is written. So he gives the example of Tube Light. Example, the title of the review should be short, catchy, and it may suggest the reviewer's assessment of the film. So the writer is writing the review and he gives his own title. The tube light fails to light up, or tiger roars again. That is just like when we give or present a paper, we use such quotations where we can really gain that attraction, or we gain the attendance or the importance of the readers, of the viewers or the audience, so that they will listen to us as long as we talk on the stage. So also the writer is giving the example that when we start a review, we have to give a title which, by reading which, the reader will know that this has a very good material where it is very interesting. At least they feel that it is interesting to read. So that can be subheading, or then we give a little bit of knowledge about what we are saying. This is a summary line and highlights the most noteworthy or interesting feature of the film. The subhead is written below the headline and above the body of the film review, and is uh, typographically distinct from the rest of the review. A watchable routine drama with its share of moments, a predictable storyline embellished with hilarious dialogues. Now, this is the writer's own opinion, where the writer is giving expression to his own feelings. Um, Whatever is being presented in the film, as I said, it has nothing to do with what the opinion of the writer gives the value to, because whatever the characters are doing, it is already said there, it is already done. If same things repeated, then it is of no use. So narration means that the writer is narrating the same thing with his point of view or his way of expression. So watchable routine drama with its share of moments, the same things being said in a different kind of sentence. A predictable storyline embellished with hilarious dialogues. A predictable storyline embellished, decorated with hilarious dialogues means same things being presented with lot of humor that is being said. Then we have, after giving this kind of heading and title, we go on giving the introduction, analysis, conclusion, everything about a review. So, do you have any doubts in this for clarification? Students, are you listening? Okay, just I summarize the introduction, analysis, and conclusion so that the video completes the review of a film. The most crucial one, it sets the tone for the rest review and makes the reader want to read further. That is how an introduction has to be written. It gives the reader an overview of the film and also conveys the reviewer's overall assessment of the film. That can be the background information about the film, its context, and criteria used for the evaluation. That will be the way of introduction. Then we have analysis. The second paragraph in which we give the analysis gives the outline of the story, and paragraphs make an evaluation of the film in detail. So, comments on the lead role and other important characters, and screenplay, music, lyrics, dialogues, scenery, cinematography, etc. Reviewers may also cite specific examples in support of their assessment. So anything can be presented there, songs as we see, uh, or a particular kind of scenery that is presented. Okay. That will be the analysis of the film, where the writer or the narrator goes on giving the analysis about the characters. Then we have the conclusion that consists of two parts. A summary of the reviewer's assessment. That is, whatever we see, we give assessment to that, and their advisory. What are all the things that can be changed, or what are all the things that is expected after reading the review. This is a must. For example, reader's opinion is, or the writer's opinion is to persuade the readers to see that they are going to watch a particular movie. So they will give a statement saying that this is a must to watch a film. Okay, do not ignore the film. So this statement itself makes the mind of the reader saying that okay, the reader will make a point of note, thinking that one day or the other they will particularly watch that film without ignoring. So that kind of judgment is generally given in the place of conclusion. That is advisory. Okay. So one example the writer has given about a film about the film is the title given by the writer is Penli Chupulu of this state, Telangana, and it is being said that it is gem of all the films. The writer has given his own evaluation or his own statement saying that assessment that it is gem of all the films. And then he gives the subheading saying that highlights of the film is it will make you laugh aloud. Sometimes it will make your mind to cry, make up you in tears, and leave with wide grin. That is, you go on thinking. Then outline of the plot, then analysis and evaluation evidence to support the reverse opinion stated in the title and the subheading and the highlights, then analysis, evidence, support, same thing is always being said with the writers, characters, naming the characters and the plot played by them, and then in the conclusion the summary of the review is taken into account, and in the conclusion the writer may say that don't miss it, everybody has to watch without ignoring the film. Okay. So I'm not giving everything that is given in the text. I just ask the students to read the review that is given as the example so that it will be very clear for you what is said and how it has to be said. Because already I have explained you the structures and the steps that has to be followed and the information that has to be given and the analysis that has to be done. Then evaluation. All these criteria I have already discussed in detail. So the example which the writer is giving about a film, it has lot of material to convey the truth about the film. So you just go through the text. so that you will have a very clear idea what is a film review and how it has to be written. And then we discuss about the remaining reviews that are given in the text in the next following video. Thank you for today's class. This is semester 4, degree second year students. In the next class, I will continue with the remaining review that can be of book review. Thank you.